To this session on algebraic structures. In the previous sessions, we have seen what is an algebraic structure. We have seen the basic properties that are expected of an algebraic structure. We have also seen two specific algebraic structures, that were the semigroup and the monoid. As you remember, an algebraic structure is a non-empty set S along with a binary operation. Now the binary operation needs to be closed. If along with this it also satisfies the associative property, then it becomes a semigroup. And if a semigroup also has the identity element, then it becomes a monoid. We discussed in the last session that if a monoid is such that every element has a inverse element, inverse of every element, then we say that this is a group. So today we'll talk about certain properties, certain theorems that have been defined on groups. So let's start. A group, to recap, a group G comma star is an algebraic system or an algebraic structure in which the binary operation star on the non-empty set G satisfies these four conditions. Number one, closure property. What do we mean by closure property? If there are two elements x and y belonging to G, then the result of these x and y being operated upon by this binary operation should also belong to G. Associative property, if we have three elements x, y and z belonging to G, then x star y star z is equal to x star y star z. This is the property that is called the associative property. Existence of identity element. There should exist an element E belonging to the G. See, this is an important point. The identity element once again belongs to the set itself. So that for any element A belonging to G, x star E is equal to x, that is E star x. We talked about that there can be two identity elements, one left and one right identity element. But in case of algebraic structures, the left and right identity elements are same. That's called simply an identity element. Similarly, for every element x belonging to G, if E is the identity element, then there exists an element denoted by A inverse such that x inverse star x is equal to x star x inverse is equal to E. Once again we talked about there can be two inverse elements, left inverse and right inverse, but in case of a group or in case of any algebraic structure that is associative, the left inverse is equal to the right inverse. Right? So a group satisfies these four properties. And in addition, if the star operation that has been defined for this non-empty set is such that it is also satisfying the commutative property, that means A star B is equal to B star A, then it is called a abelian or a commutative group. Say for example, the addition operation on the set of integers gives me an abelian group. The addition operation on the set of rational numbers gives me an abelian group. So let's talk about certain theorems that have been defined for groups. The first theorem is that the identity element in a group is unique. Let's see how we can show that. Suppose we will do it with the help of the process of contradiction. Let us say E and E dash are two identity elements of the given group. We have to showcase that there is a single unique identity element. So we'll begin by using the contradiction of the same statement. We'll say that there are two identity elements E and E dash, and we will proceed to show that if E and E dash are two identity elements, then both of them are same. Let's see how. Say if E and E dash are two identity elements, that means E and E dash both, E and E dash both will be belonging to the non-empty set G. So E and E dash are the elements of G. Now if E is the identity element, then E star E dash, considering this to be the identity element and this to be any element, I can say that E star E dash is equal to E dash. Why? Because this is an identity element. Similarly, if E dash is an identity element, now in this case, this I am considering as the identity element and this as a simple element. So E star E dash is equal to E. So see, E star E dash, in this case I was considering E to be the identity element. E star E dash, here I am considering E dash to be the identity element. But here it was equal to E dash and here it is equal to E. So you can write it over here. E star E dash is equal to E dash, and again E star E dash, this part is the same and I can write it as, so from there I can say E is equal to E dash. So we can say the identity element of a group is unique. Please remember, identity element is defined on the basis of group and the operation. Say for example, if I take the set of integers and the operation addition, the identity element is 0. If I take the set of integers and the multiplication operation, the identity element is 1. The next theorem, inverse of each element of a group is unique. Once again, we will start by assuming two different inverses and then we will showcase that both the inverses are same. Suppose A is any element of G and E is the identity element of G. We'll start by assuming, suppose B and C are two different inverses of A in G. Once again, remember, if A belongs to G, then any inverse of A will also belong to G. So B and C, the two inverses that I am assuming over here, both belong to G. So if B and C are two different inverses, if B is an inverse of A, so I can write A star B is equal to E, as it is associative. So A star B is equal to B star A. It will be same as left inverse or right inverse. So if B is an inverse of A, I can write A star B is equal to E or B star A is equal to E. Again, if C is the inverse, I can write A star C is equal to C star A is equal to E. Right? Now, if I can write B as B star E. Now, B is an element belonging to the set G and E is the identity element of this group. So, I can write B as B star E. So, anything operated upon by the identity element does not change. So, B is equal to B star E. Now, this identity element I can take from here. See, identity element E can be written as C star A or A star C. So, I can write B star E as B star A star C. See, from here, this part I am using over here, B star E, and E can be written as A star C. Now, as this is a group, so being a group, this is associative. So, B star A star C, I can write as B star A star C. Now, B star A, remember, B was also an inverse element. So, B star A can be written as E. So, B star A star C can be written as E star C, and as E is the identity element, this is equal to C. So, I started off with B and I am left with C. So, I can write B is equal to C. So, that means a group, for a given element, it has a unique inverse. Let me once again repeat, the inverse depends on the particular element as well as the operation. Let's take again the same example. Say for the set of, let us say, rational numbers and addition, the identity element is 0. So if I take, let us say, the element 1 by 2, then its inverse will be minus 1 by 2. For this element, the inverse will be this. But if I take the multiplication operation, the identity element is equal to 1. Now in this case, the inverse of 1 by 2 is equal to 2 by 1. Why? Because if I multiply these two, I'll get 1. If I add these two, I'll get 0. The third theorem says, if A inverse is the inverse of an element A of a group, then the inverse of A is equal to A. In fact, this is the involution theorem. So the inverse of A is equal to A. Let's prove it. Suppose this is the group G star, G comma star, and E is the identity element of the group. So if E is the identity element, E belongs to the set G. So if E is the identity element, I can write A star into A is equal to, see, if A is an element, A star is the inverse, then by property of the inverse, the product of these two or the operation on these two will give me the identity element. Now, A star into A is equal to E. Now let us do one thing. Let us operate both the sides on the left hand side by A inverse inverse. This is given from this equation. So what I am doing is I am operating on the left hand side by A inverse inverse, and here also I am operating on the left hand side by A inverse inverse. Operating by the same thing on the same side, it will not make any change. Now this being a group, once again, as it is a group, it is associative. So this being a group, this is associative, so I can write it as A inverse inverse star A inverse star A is equal to, now this A inverse inverse star E, anything operated upon by the identity element does not change. So A inverse inverse. Now see over here, this is A inverse star A inverse inverse. So X inverse star X, that is equal to E by the definition of inverse element. So this can be written as E. So E star A is equal to A inverse inverse. So E star A by the definition of identity element will be equal to A. So A inverse inverse is equal to A. The involution law is proved. Let's take the next theorem. If G be a group for any two elements A and B of G, A star B inverse is equal to B inverse star A inverse, rule of reversal. A star B inverse is equal to B inverse star A inverse. Now let us see how to prove it. Let A inverse and B inverse are the inverses of A and B, and let E is the identity element. Please remember, if A and B belong to G, then A inverse, B inverse and E also belong to G. Now as A inverse is the inverse element of A, I can write A star A inverse or A inverse star A is equal to E. Similarly, as B inverse is the inverse of B, so I can write B star B inverse is equal to B inverse star B is equal to E. Now, I am saying that A star B inverse is equal to B inverse star A inverse, right? See, this is the inverse of A star B. This and this are both inverses. If this and this are both inverses, and if this is equal to this, then this star B inverse star A inverse should give me the identity element. If I say that A star B inverse is the inverse of A star B, and if this is equal to this, then a product of this and this, or in other words, a product of this and this should give me the identity element. So that is exactly what I am going to do over here. So A star B inverse star A inverse is equal to, now what I'll do is, as this is a group, so it is once again this is associative. So A star B star B inverse star A inverse, I can write it as A star B inverse star A inverse, or A star B inverse star A inverse, A star E star A inverse. This is an identity element. By property of identity element, A star E is equal to A. So A star A inverse is equal to. So I have showcased that A star B inverse star A inverse. Now this is equal to E. That means B star, this is an inverse of A star B. Right? Now I can see, I have showcased that this is the right inverse. Now I can also showcase this being the left inverse. I do not know whether it is a commutative group or not. So I can also showcase it being the left inverse. I'll write B inverse star A inverse star A star B. So can be written once again, commutativity, both these will come together, it will be equal to E. So it will be B inverse star E star B This will be equal to B inverse star B, that will be equal to, so once again, this is both the left inverse as well as the right inverse. So I can say that A star B inverse is equal to B inverse star A inverse. The last property, the cancellation property. If A, B and C are any three elements of a group, then AB is equal to AC implies that B is equal to C. CA can be cancelled from the left hand side. If BA is equal to CA, that implies B is equal to C. That means A can be cancelled from the right hand side. Now we will show that if this G comma star is a group, then both left and right cancellation properties hold. Let us see. Let A belongs to G and also A inverse belongs to G, and let us say E is the identity element which also belongs to G. Now I can write A inverse is equal to E, or A inverse A also belongs to E. Right? I am using the operation, I am using the symbol dot to represent the operation. Now AB is equal to AC. Let's take the left cancellation property first. AB is equal to AC. Right? So I can operate both sides on the left hand side by A inverse and it will not make any difference. This once again is a group, so this is associative. So I can write A inverse A B is equal to A inverse A C. Now A inverse A is equal to E by the definition of inverse element. A inverse A is equal to E. Similarly, A inverse A is equal to E. So EB is equal to EC. By the definition of identity element, this will be equal to B and this will be equal to C. So left cancellation property holds. Similarly, you can showcase the right cancellation property. Say BA is equal to CA. You can operate upon by A inverse on the right hand side. Now BA A inverse is equal to CA A inverse. As this is associative, so it will be B A inverse is equal to C A inverse. By definition of inverse, this will be equal to E, so it will be BE is equal to CE. By definition of identity, this will become B is equal to C. So in case of a group, both left and right cancellation properties. Let us see a couple of more properties that can be defined with the case of groups. Say, if G comma star is a group and if A is an element belonging to the group, so A star A is equal to A. See, what we are trying to showcase over here is that there is only one idempotent element in the group, and that is E. Idempotent, if you remember what is idempotent, if A star A is equal to A, then it is said to be idempotent property. So what we are trying to showcase is that there is only one idempotent element in a group, and that is the identity element. So we say that if A is an element of G and if A is idempotent, that means A star A is equal to A, then we will try to show that A is equal to E, where A is the identity element, right? Given that A star A is equal to A, let us do one thing. On the right hand side, as I know E is the identity element, so if I write A as A star E, it is not going to make any difference. By the definition of identity element, if I operate any element by an identity element, it will remain the same. So A star A is equal to A star E. And now I know the cancellation laws, both the left and right cancellation laws hold in case of groups. So by using the left cancellation law, this A and this way A will be cancelled. So I will be left with A is equal to E. So there can only be a single idempotent element in any group, and that will be the identity element. Let's take another property. If every element of a group is its own inverse, that means A is equal to A inverse, B is equal to B inverse, and so on and so forth, then show that the group must be abelian, right? So we have already proven the property that A star B, the inverse of two elements, is equal to B inverse star A inverse. Now we say that every element of a group is its own inverse. So we have already shown the identity A star B whole inverse is equal to B inverse star A inverse. As every element of group is its own inverse. That means A star B is equal to A star B inverse. Every element is its own inverse. So A star B inverse is equal to B inverse star A inverse, and A star B inverse will be equal to A star B. So A star B, I can write A star B is equal to A star B whole inverse, which is equal to B inverse star A inverse. Now as every element is its own inverse, so B inverse I can write as B and A inverse I can write as A. So I can write as A star B is equal to B star A. That means the group is abelian. See another property. Now we write A square as A star A and A cube as A star A. Now we say that if A star B square is equal to A square B square, then G is an abelian group. Right? So given that A star B whole square is equal to A square B square, right? We will take this to be true, and by using this assumption we will show that the group is abelian. So if A star B square is equal to A star B square. So this A star B whole square can be written as A star B star A star B. Now as this is a group, this is associative, so I can write it as A star B star A star B. So this will be A, as this is once again, if it is associative, I can write it as, see over here, A star B star B, right? A star B star B. Now I can apply the cancellation laws. I can cancel out A, I can cancel out B by using left and right cancellation laws. So I'll be left with B star A is equal to A star B. So therefore this is an abelian group. So we have seen certain theorems that can be proved on groups. We have seen certain properties of groups that we have proven with the help of the pre-existing theorems. In the next session, we will be talking about how to check an algebraic structure for being a group. Till the next time, thank you.